recording.
We're recording now.
I hate Sonic. I don't hate Sonic. I just hate the way that he plays on Smash. Because he has absolutely no kill power. I don't see how how is he tournament viable?
He's not. There's only like 3 characters that are, I don't know, tournament vibe. Who? Oh my gosh, I'm kind of drunk. All right, listen.
No, I'm kind of drunk. Okay. I'm glad that my bed is right upstairs.
This is the long-awaited 3rd episode of... 4th episode of...
Is it the 4th?
I don't even think this is really... This is probably going to be the first episode that actually feels like a real episode. That doesn't have any fuck-ups or any issues.
I cannot guarantee that there will not be any fuck-ups. Because I'm kind of plastered. But... Welcome to SAUCY. What are we talking about today? We're talking about E3, more or less.
Electric 3.
You got one word out of the E's. Proper.
E3 this year was trash.
I wish we had started SAUCY 5, 6, 10 years ago, back when fucking G4 was hosting, or not hosting, but covering E3.
That's when E3 meant something.
It did. Oh, what did it mean to you?
To me, E3 in the early 2000s meant, it was like the Super Bowl of fucking video games. You feel me? Like,
I agree.
All of the, like, you know, media was so much more controlled back then. You feel me? So, pretty much, the only information you got came from E3. So, there was no YouTube or Twitter, nigga. Like, it was pretty much, yo, if they wanted to show you the Grand Theft Auto 4 trailer, that's what they showed you, and that's all the information you had, and you had to watch it on G4. It was like hella exclusive.
4, yeah.
Yeah, I remember. It's like I missed the like how they would literally hold up a whole week on G4 and just talk about E3. There would be nothing else but covering E3, and that was your only way to see how shit was in the industry. But now,
God, it was those days were fucking glorious. And to some extent, I mean, what you have the benefit of having multiple perspectives when different YouTubers cover E3, and that's all cool and fine and dandy. I don't know. It's just I miss it being more of a legitimate cultural event, or I guess
I know. I don't really feel like
I don't know.
I don't really feel like it's lost its cultural significance yet. Like, I feel like it's lost its industry.
It's almost out the door.
No, I feel like honestly more people tuned into E3 than ever when you really think about it. Just the eyes on the event, you know, because back in the day it was only G4. Now it's millions and millions of YouTubers, YouTube reviews, YouTube eyes. Like, the event now has more coverage than it's ever had. But I just think the exclusiveness of it is what is fleeting. And I think the industry itself, like the people who are not us, are kind of done with E3. You know, the people, I think the public loves E3. That's pretty much the only like mainstream video game conference that the average dude walking around still knows about, as opposed to something like,
other than like Gamescom.
Yeah, Gamescom.
But this is the first E3 that Sony has skipped out on.
They had nothing to show. Everything that's going.
They still got. I mean, I don't know how much are they still going to show some more of that fucking samurai game that they showed last year?
No, what's the point of showing shit that's already out when you can just put it on YouTube?
That shit ain't out yet. They got their own live event they showing later on, I think, and I think their reasoning behind it was like, you know, if you showing some shit by E3, that's July, August, September. The holiday season is way too soon. That was their reasoning behind it. So I think they're putting it on a little bit, I think, like further after the holidays, so like people can have time to actually get their shit together and buy their games.
I mean, honestly, I feel like Sony is just kind of riding this rest of this console cycle out. Like, I don't feel like they're gonna put in much effort at all for the next year and a half because right now Sony and Microsoft are both just so focused on the PS5 and the Xbox Two that they're just kind of like, it's whatever. Like, if I was at Sony, I'd be like, why do we need to spend money at E3? Most of the games that people are going to be buying this year are not console exclusives. And our console exclusive this year are pretty light. Like, they don't really have a whole lot.
Really, the only person out of the two that you mentioned that actually still got like legit console exclusives is Sony. Really, because Xbox, I think they ain't doing the they're not more into the hardware like traditional video game sales as much as like Sony and Nintendo are anymore.
I mean, it's a lot easier.
They're going more into the software sort of business, like making the gaming experience a little bit more pleasurable, getting it into this new Wild West sort of like game streaming service.
Well, they're trying to really, they're trying to shake up the industry. No doubt. They're taking a really aggressive approach to, tearing down these walls that have separated the three companies. But I mean, let's keep it a band. If the Xbox One sold better than the PS4, they wouldn't be doing that. Like, I think the Xbox One was such a fucking failure.
It was the fault of the last CEO because they put so many anti-consumer things on the Xbox when it first came out.
No, the Switch is already about to outsell it. And the fact that shit was such a failure, Xbox pretty much realizes, we need to play nice because right now we are about... I think Xbox is dangerously close from being completely out of the console market. Like, really think about it, okay? They won't even release the number of units sold for Xboxes anymore because it's that low. If the Switch is already about to outsell it, then that means that shit probably moved, 50 million units, 60 million units, some shit like that. And, bruh, I mean, that's a tiny-ass install base for a console that's been out for almost a decade. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, several iterations, like, several different versions. Like, it's stories of motherfucking 80, 90 Xboxes selling a week in Japan. And shit like that.
Yeah, Microsoft doesn't really sell in Japan like that.
I mean, they don't. But I think that, that's why they're taking such an aggressive approach to this next generation. Because they kind of feel like, our back is low-key against the wall. Like, we kind of fucked up really bad on this was one console. So
here's what that's what I think about Microsoft. Like, they're not going to be hardware players anymore. Because I
don't feel like they're going to get out of hardware. I still think there's going to always be an Xbox.
I think until this, I think the plan is until this next generation, they're going to get out of the hardware business. Because I think Sony, it's been rumored that the PS5 is going to be Sony's last hardware console or some shit like that.
I don't think Sony is ever going to stop making consoles because
not.
The PS4 is the sole reason that Sony is open right now.
Microsoft, though, will probably stop making consoles.
Microsoft can stop. Microsoft was there long before the Xbox was. You feel me?
Yeah, and I think they need to get back to their roots on making the software that actually can get on as many like systems as possible. You know what I mean? And stop trying to like have their own little
ecosystem,
proprietary machine.
I mean, the thing about it,
we're drunk as hell, by the way. I can't wait to re-listen to this shit.
Oh yeah, we sound like two bums talking about technology.
It's been a good day, but sorry, continue.
But who's the CEO of Xbox? Phil Spencer?
God, not Phil Sphinxter.
Oh Jesus! Oh God!
Sphinxter.
No,
Butthole. No, it's another way more friendlier dude that I actually like.
No, he's dope. Cause he actually said that people asked him about how Banjo gotten smashed, and he was like, "We're basically one of Nintendo's biggest third party platform makers or whatever." And I was like, "Oh shit!" He basically it was weird hearing Microsoft saying we're one of Nintendo's biggest third-party supporters. Basically saying that not only are they in a relationship with each other, it's a strong one. You feel me?
Yeah, they have a very legitimate relationship, I think.
It's legit. Like, it's crazy. Like,
I can't wait to play motherfucking Halo on the Switch.
Banjo 3.
Yeah.
Nigga, we need all of that. And yeah, like
would
you said.
Would you like a Banjo-Kazooie remake? Did you ever play any of the Banjo games?
Yeah, I played the first one. I didn't like it as much as Donkey Kong 64, but I definitely played it. It was cool. Never been a fan of collectathons.
I didn't really care for the Banjo games.
Yeah,
and I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for it, but like, whatever.
No, you're really not, because I think most of the people who was on YouTube flipping their shit when they saw Banjo and Smash, including myself, because I flip my shit too.
Same.
It's just because you got those nostalgia feels. You know,
that's really all it is.
It's nostalgia feels, and I don't think it's nothing wrong with that. I don't think it's anything wrong with nostalgia feels.
No, not at all, not entirely. Because apparently this turn of the decade is apparently the decade for rehashing and playing and selling on nostalgia. You know, it's happening in games. That's definitely is happening in movies. It's even happening in our clothing and even in vaporwave. So I think this is just.
You made vaporwave sound like it was literally its own entity.
Vaporwave isn't awful though.
I love vaporwave. You just said movies.
But I mean, hell, Nick at Night came back. What, like?
Nick at Night was never off.
But I mean, you know.
You mean all the '90s shit?
Yeah, the '90s.
Oh yeah, because all the '90s kids are getting old now.
Too, so it's like. You know, of course they're going to sell on nostalgia. And of course Banjo is going to come to fucking Smash. And is it really that hard to assume that Banjo is coming to the Switch?
No.
Like a remake?
No, I hope that they're working on a remake right now. I hope they're just going to shadow drop it.
I hope they do too. The Switch needs their own little Crash Bandicoot / Spyro moment.
But it can't be Rare though.
Is Rare still even a thing?
Yes, they made that pirate game.
Oh shit, you're right.
Yeah, they made the pirate game. But
how is that game doing? Do you know? I know it's still coming out with updates, but I have no idea as to whether or not people are still playing it.
I'm not gonna speak on that game because there might be a couple pirate niggas that's listening to this and they might not feel it. Man, I do think that it still exists, but
it definitely still exists. It's just
so is Destiny 2, and you know.
I'm looking full. I already bought. Well, I mean, I got to get a new PlayStation, but I already have Destiny 2 on my digitally on my fucking PlayStation account, and as soon as I get another PS4, I'm hoping that Destiny 2 First Light had all its like updates and everything, and they got some DLC that's actually worth checking out because Activision has been such a horrible influence on Bungie, like just fucking them up with the Eververse and like how they've been like dropping their shit and like the casualization of Destiny 2. Like they finally came out. I watched that live stream, that post Activision live stream that Destiny 2 had. And it's fucking beautiful because they're like, straight up, we're an MMO. Even though Activision have been wanting to, like, for one reason or another, just has not been wanting to admit that Destiny 2 is an MMO. Even though it has all the traits for it, there's like, no, this is a first-person action game. They're finally, like, they're going into it. Like, this is an MMO. We're doing all of the progression shit, everything that the Destiny core fan base actually wants in a Destiny game.
Right.
Which means all the numbers when you shoot people, which I know you hate.
Oh my fucking gosh.
Do you know there's a purpose behind that?
I don't care. I like immersion, Mike. When I shoot an alien, numbers don't pop out. Green blood.
You shot an alien before?
Listen. In my head, when I shoot an alien, green blood doesn't pop out. I mean, green
what
blood.
What about green numbers?
No, that shit is
for corrosion damage.
I don't understand.
Or poison.
I don't get the point of the numbers that come out of the bullets when you shoot. I feel like this is. I said this the other day. I feel like these companies, these devs work so fucking hard to make sure these games look awesome. And then here comes the other devs right behind them and say, you know what this, 4K 60 FPS shooter needs? Math. You feel me? Like,
To
no,
be fair,
bro.
it mostly only happens to um, RPGs and MMOs.
I
It
feel
happens
it.
to fighting games
I've always
to
wondered
a way lesser
about.
extent.
This is what I've always wondered, and I'm gonna ask you since you're into Destiny and Warframe and
I fuck
all.
with all of the above.
Right, right. Like they built these games to basically be pointless, right? Like,
How do you mean?
okay, so you grind to level up your guns,
Hmm.
but then your enemies also get stronger.
They get
So
stronger with you, yeah.
So it seems as if the enemies are getting stronger and so are your weapons, then neither of which is actually happening.
Well, it's all about your output and what you're able to accomplish. So, again, like, yeah, there's math, but it's not really math. It's more like compare and contrast.
No, no, no. I'm not saying the math. I'm just saying like the gameplay loop.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the same gameplay loop, but what you get when you level up pretty much adds on to your experience. Like for instance, and I'm going to speak on Warframe because I have 3,000 hours in Warframe on my PS4. Over 3,000 hours. I'm not.
Nerd.
Hell, you damn Skippy.
You fucking
You
nerd.
damn Skippy. Shout
No
out
one
to
should ever
Space
have
Mom.
3,000 hours on anything.
Nigga, you should see my boy Paul on World of Warcraft. This nigga been playing since it came out, and he's still playing.
No,
Him and his wife.
I done logged about 400 hours in Smash. I go cap.
Word. But so okay, so with progression in Warframe, for instance, right? Like they already have their normal game progression where the higher your mastery rank is, the more weapons you're able to equip on your shit, right? But there's like countless levels of progression. So you have the amount of planets that you've unlocked that you can go to. You have the like everything that you interact with, like the warframes and the weapons, have their own leveling systems. Um, there's the cosmetic shit that you acquire, right? So the enemies is just like kind of it's like a benchmark in a way of your progression. Like the higher the level the enemies are, and you know how efficiently you can kill them. And what you do to kill them versus what you used to do. Like for instance, when you first start out, all you got is like a gun, some very very simple mods for your gun, and some very very simple mods for your warframe. But like like shit can get crazy complex with the mods that you put on after you put in like 100, 200 so hours in the game.
See, what ruined Warframe for me was the crafting system is very unforgiving.
It's the game doesn't hold your hand.
I mean,
Like
I
the
understand
tutorial
that.
system is dog shit in that game.
No, I'm
The
saying like I understand that it doesn't hold your hand, but I think it like low key like cuts it off. Like
it cuts off your
yeah,
hand
it puts you at a
and it puts
disadvantage.
it in a blender.
Yeah, cause like
It's not that hard.
it
I promise you.
presented everything I had to do in the game. Like it was something that I was just supposed to know. Like I
Yeah.
can tell that they structure that game to basically say, hey yo, most of the niggas playing this game have been playing it for years.
Well, no, Digital Extremes it just has they've done a shit job at making a good enough tutorial system. And I mean, we both got switches. We both. Hell, I can walk you through the game if you like. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, they've just done a shit job at the new player experience, which is ironic too because what they've been also doing recently is making a lot of game modes and a lot of other moves more accessible to new players without giving new players the a stable enough foundation for them to start playing. And ironically, also taking a lot of attention away from veteran players. So now veteran players are bored as shit, and that they're going off to play some other shit until Warframe comes out with a new expansion, and then they beat that shit in like 2 hours and go play something else again. Like, for instance, I cannot fucking wait for Dauntless to come out on the Switch, because I would much rather play that MMO than, or Warframe-like MMO, than go back to Warframe, start a new character, and then go through that whole experience again.
See,
And I mean, it's crazy though, because it's a lot of shit to do in Warframe. It is a lot of shit, hundreds upon hundreds of hours to do. Again, several levels of progression that you can explore in that game, and I would just rather not do it, because they've, as far as I know, DE doesn't have like a good enough sort of payoff.
right.
When
I mean, but that's
you
my
get
thing.
to the end game, because there is no end game.
That's the thing. There's no end game with any of these games. Like, there's no, like, when I beat a game, I get that sense of gratification, like I conquered something. But with something like Destiny 2, it's a service.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, it's a game that they're just basically saying, yo, the gameplay loop is not really changing. You're always going to be shooting something.
Well, are you into min maxing?
What is that?
So min maxing is the end game for the end game, right? Big old air quotes, end game for the end game. Where
Like beating something?
it's essentially like, yeah, beating the end game, but with the most efficient set of parameters that you can put on your character and your equipment.
It depends. Like,
You know, like
I'm not into
tweaking
like
your shit.
basically like beating a game over and over again, just putting different like restrictions and rules on yourself like that.
Not like that, but like using what's available in the game to beat the end game faster, or beat the end game in a certain way. Just, maximizing the game's mechanics and the game's equipment the best you can.
Oh,
Putting the best shit on your shit. A lot of RPGs and MMOs have like a random system where you roll the stats and get new stats on certain weapons, and hopefully you get,
the game that I know that I went through again was Ratchet and Clank, Up Your Arsenal.
Yeah,
that was my shit. And once you beat the game, they let you keep all the weapons and go back through it again and just obliterate everything.
Yeah, New Game Plus.
Yep,
I hope they got that.
That was my very first New Game Plus.
Word.
Yeah.
God damn.
But back to E3 though.
Oh yeah, we've gone 20 minutes. This talk is like beginning with E3, and 20 minutes later, we're getting back to E3.
Keanu Reeves is a gift to human beings, and we really do not.
We don't deserve him.
We don't deserve him. And I just want everyone listening to this podcast to know that if you don't take anything else from this podcast, you need to know that we do not deserve Keanu Morpheus Reeves. Morpheus was
Keanu Neo Reeves?
Yeah, Neo Reeves. Morpheus? I'm drunk. It doesn't matter. Morpheus sounded better in my head. Keanu Morpheus Reeves.
His name stands for Cool Breeze Over the Mountains.
Yes.
Do you know that?
What?
That's what Keanu means.
Keanu means cool breeze over the mountains?
Yes.
Yo. That's John Wick, bro. It's crazy. No, for real. I know that, Keanu Reeves being this cool is a bit of a meme, but it's kind of crazy how this nigga went from pretty much obscurity, like a nerd's favorite actor, to being one of the most well-respected Hollywood niggas in the world.
But he's never stopped being that nerd's actor.
Nah, it's just more nerds.
Especially with him coming to Cyberpunk.
Oh, no. Keanu Reeves.
Are you ready for that? Are you getting Cyberpunk?
Yes. Fuck yes.
What? Who's PS4 you getting?
I'm gonna just
play
buy a new
Cyberpunk?
PS4. You know this is finna go down like 150. The 5 is on the horizon.
I am about to get this new job. I'm probably finna get a PS4 Pro too.
Now, am I gonna get Cyberpunk when it comes out? Who knows? I can't
Oh
say.
fuck, I am. Yo, I trust anything that's after
No,
The
I'm
Witcher
saying like
3.
I just don't know if I'm gonna have a PS4 by then. You feel
But
me?
look, after The Witcher 3, I have no problem with buying anything CD Projekt Red comes out with day one. You know what you're getting for the standard edition?
What for Cyberpunk?
Nigga. So with most games for the PS4 or Xbox or whatever, you get a small booklet that tells you not to play the game for too long, and then you get the game. Right. With Cyberpunk, you get like what, a map of Night City. You get a few
You get a
stickers.
manual.
No,
They bringing manuals back.
they brought the map. The last map that I bought with the game that came with the standard game was either Skyrim or GTA 4. I don't even think that this version of GTA 5 had a map of Los Santos.
Most games don't come with anything in the box except that warning, just or advertisement for another game.
But Cyberpunk does. CD Projekt Red gives a fuck about you. They love you. They want to tuck you in bed at night before you go to sleep and sing you a Lauryn Hill song.
Cyberpunk 2077 on the Switch. How long do you think that takes, Mike?
It's gonna be like another year or two.
I'm okay with that.
Same.
The Switch Pro.
I love to do some Cyberpunk shit on the go.
I honestly don't think it's gonna even be that long. I think once because the Switch Pro is already in production. They said.
Word.
Yes, but no one knows how it looks.
I hope it's a Switch XL. I'm tired of playing. I love playing Tetris 99 on this tiny ass shit, but I would love to play it on a bigger screen.
I hope they make the screen bigger without making the Switch bigger. They should make the Switch itself smaller, but make the screen like that bezel.
Oh, so you want to do like a no bevel sort of thing on the outside,
bezel,
like
yes.
the new phones are doing now?
Right. That would be amazing.
I guess.
And they should make the new Switch able to be played with old Joy-Cons.
God, we're almost at the 30-minute mark. What's your favorite part about E3? What was your highlight?
Listen, Mike. I only think that I need to say one thing.
What's up?
Dead Ganon.
I'm also mad excited for this sequel. Because again, like with Witcher, I've played through Breath of the Wild. Well, at least twice. The thing with Breath of the Wild is that it loses a lot of its luster after your first playthrough. And so after the second time, you're just doing it for efficiency.
See.
Plus, it's stupid easy.
My thing about it, I have played Breath of the Wild in passing. And I have the game. But I've watched my friends beat it. And I watched Spencer, my friend, play it all the way through. So, I'm pretty well versed in it. I just suck at the game. But this new Zelda, oh my God.
Are you playing it?
Huh?
Are you playing it? Is that your thing?
What?
The sequel.
Yes, I'm gonna play it day one. That's gonna be I'm gonna let you get 77, and I'm gonna get Scary Zelda because
I'm also getting Scary Zelda.
it's just the fact that
it's like, trust me, I'm a fan.
It's just the fact that it just finally feels like Nintendo's growing balls. You feel me? Like they're letting people experiment with their characters. Like Majora's Mask was dark, and the director of Zelda said, "Oh, we're going way darker than that."
I just really hope that they have actual dungeons this time because
I definitely they was in a dungeon.
True.
Or a crypt. They might not call them. They might call them crypts or something spooky.
Anything that's not a goddamn shrine. Because
I think they might have shrines too. They might have all three. All two. But dungeons got bosses. That's the point. You gotta have a big scary ass monster at the end of the dungeon to try to kill you.
Yeah.
But my thing is, another thing I liked, Nintendo pretty much stole the show.
Because, there isn't much else to talk about from the other goddamn conferences. Fucking Lego is coming to Forza now.
Oh, yeah, that was painful.
No, that was kind of cute, and I've actually played Forza Horizon, and it's mad fun. Forza Horizon 4, but
I'm saying that whole press conference, just the whole
everything up until Square
everything,
Enix was a snore fest,
everything.
and then like the last 3 quarters of the Square Enix conference was a snore fest as well.
Oh my god, hey, yo, that Avengers game.
That looks like dog shit.
That shit looks like dog shit.
All of that goddamn
Complete dog
waiting
shit.
and that speculation and that, unsung hype for that dog shit reveal.
What are they doing?
And
Once again, Square Enix, these companies should look at what Nintendo's doing, because Marvel Ultimate Alliance looks like it's going to shit on the new that Avengers game, bro.
Nigga, why the fuck is no loot boxes a selling point for this game?
They already said it's going to be a service. One of those games is a service type games.
I fucking hate loot boxes.
Bro.
And it's gotten at that point where now it's like, oh, we don't have loot boxes, and now that's the selling point. And it's like, it should not have been a selling point in the first fucking place.
That shit's trash.
It's trash.
Another reason that Nintendo stole the show is because they showed a lot of gameplay, and they also didn't show any fucking mobile games.
They didn't.
So there was no Tom Clancy cell phone games.
No Tom Clancy shit. No fucking Commander Keen, which apparently, and I've never played no Commander Keen games back in the day, but apparently that's another bastardization like Command and Conquer Mobile was last year.
Oh God,
of like a beloved PC franchise. Just like we was talking about earlier when we were going through EA's IP catalog.
Right.
They're just abusing their old shit. You know what I think? I think that these companies are branching into, or trying to branch to the Chinese market. Like, they're starting to. But a lot of what the Chinese like to think are fun, which is like the gacha machines and the mobile games that like take all your fucking money.
Asians in general.
But
Japan too.
They're forcing that shit on us, and we don't like that shit. And I don't understand why publishers don't understand that we don't like that shit as a culture. But apparently over in China, like, if you're able to buy all these sorts of microtransactions, it's a status symbol. And so it's like that's why gacha shit is the way it is over here in the West. But we're not like that.
That shit does not translate at all. Like, I don't fuck with the whole concept of, I don't know what's in this little digital box. Like, I would much rather just buy what I want and go about my business.
I'm glad that they're sort of shying away from it now, at least.
Yeah, because
loot boxes are just kind of silently going out the door now.
It's because they're illegalists. They're
more or less.
They're about to be illegal, and I can't wait for this loot boxes being illegal might be the thing that saves this country. Because it's bipartisan. Like, everybody says, yeah, those are trash. Get those out of here.
Saving the country is a bit much. But I kind of agree with you. Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
You know, that shit is trash. But who else did I like in the conference? Yeah, Square Enix did pretty decent.
Final Fantasy 7. I'm getting it.
Yeah, everyone's getting it.
As soon as possible. The only thing that I'm like not too happy about is that it's episodic. But the first part, the Midgard part of the game, is apparently like 2 Blu-ray discs.
See, if it wasn't episodic, you would never get this game. I'm going to go ahead and let you know that now. But
if it wasn't episodic, I'd be more inclined to get it. Because I don't like shit being broken up. Plus, you know how long it takes for... you know how long it took for Square Enix to put out motherfucking Kingdom Hearts 3? And in between 2 and 3, there were like 17, 18 fucking spinoffs. And...
adventures. The thing about what worries me about it is the fact that they don't really have a roadmap of how they want to go about it. Like, if this was Nintendo, they would be developing part 1 and 2 simultaneously. You feel me? And then they would say, okay, in the last minute when it's time to crunch, everybody get off part 2 and finish up part 1.
Oh, you know Nintendo doesn't crunch.
I'm just saying, no, Nintendo used to crunch bad. They said Nintendo used to be one of
Yeah,
they said they used to be one of the worst companies with that. But now, under this new regime,
regime. No, I mean there's a whole we're becoming aware of the crunch. It's not a new thing. We're
there's
just
crunch in
crunch.
every industry though.
True, but like in the video game culture, apparently it's a little bit much. Like it's one of those things where they explicitly say you don't have to crunch, but it is implied that if you don't crunch, you will lose your fucking job. That's what it is, and it's very shitty.
Yeah, no, it's definitely shitty, but I'm definitely, work isn't fun. You feel me? I definitely don't feel like they should be working 80, 90 hours a week and not being compensated.
God, even 120 in some cases.
Right. No, I feel that. And I definitely feel that. And that's egregious. But, I don't necessarily feel like crunch in itself is bad. Especially because I'm an entrepreneur. And I work those hours. And I know what that shit is like. You feel me? I crunch. You feel me? I go through those times where I have to spend an entire night up 2 nights in a row getting work done because it is what it is. But that don't make it right though. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying that I feel it. I know how hard that shit can be. But sometimes you gotta do that shit. Like I don't feel
but it's like that's your project though, right?
Right.
With game designers, they're just there to get a paycheck.
Well, shit. I mean, I'm doing it to get a paycheck too.
But it's not like it's their baby.
I know that.
It's not like this. Like they're. It's not. I'm not saying that they aren't proud of the product that they put out. I'm sure they are, because if they weren't passionate about this shit and they weren't ready to start buckling down and doing their shit, I get it. But it's one thing to impose crunch on yourself. But it's another thing to have some big wig impose crunch on you while they go out and leave work at 7 p.m. and go home to their families and shit. Right. You feel me?
No, I feel that. And if you are gonna have these kids out here crunching, they need to be more than compensated. Like no salary worker should have to crunch if they're not getting paid overtime.
I don't think you should crunch, period, if you're not really trying to crunch like that. You feel me? If you don't have like a legitimately good work-life balance, work-home life balance, and you know what I'm saying? This isn't your baby in the first place. Like, you don't have to crunch if you don't really feel like you need to crunch.
I mean, I don't know. I think crunches come in levels. You feel me? A bunch of employees who normally work 35-hour weeks, asking them to work this 1 week, we need you to work 50 because we gotta meet this deadline. Mm-hmm. That's light, but saying that, hey, I will make sure those employees get paid overtime. You feel me? Like, that'd be the issue a lot of the time. They be working 120-hour weeks, these crazy amounts of hours, and not getting paid any extra, because or have their job threatened, and I hate that shit too.
Yeah,
that's the main. I think that right there is really the main thing that people need to address. Like, if an employee doesn't want to participate in crunch, they should not have their job threatened because of that. They should be allowed to say, "I want to be with my family these last couple of weeks," and they should be allowed to be. They shouldn't have to be able to feel threatened by that shit. The most dedicated employees should have to be the ones who crunch.
And it's got to be optional.
Right, like Red Dead Redemption. They said the Red Dead Redemption, all the employees who crunched, they chose to do so, and they were not threatened to do so. They just did it.
That's the thing, though. Mm. That's what Dan Houser would say. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, all of our guys just so happen to be passionate about them, but that's just like upper level management, corporate speak about some motherfuckers who exploit their workers and don't want to go out there and say like, hey, we're the bad guys. all of our guys are willing to do this, are willing to work crazy hours to bring you the product that you want.
Right.
That's not the fucking case, man. I swear to God, it's not. Like they, I do like really feel for these game developers, bro. Like these.
Oh no, I feel for them 100%.
And they don't want to crunch.
No, I mean I'm pretty sure I wouldn't want to crunch either. But I mean, bro, it's people who work shittier jobs who crunch every day. You feel me? Like I feel for them. I really do. But at the same, and this, I mean, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but nigga, I mean, bro, shit, bro, it's me and you bust our ass every fucking week just to make ends meet. I would love to get paid what they get paid and do what they do, you know, but
they don't even get paid that much.
Not all of them. Not all of them. It depends on what you're doing. It depends on what you're doing and where you're at. Like, if you were in a small company in Atlanta, you're probably making all of $30,000.
Shit, if you was crunching and you was in Atlanta, I mean, goddamn, you probably wouldn't really have to crunch to still live. Because, you know, a lot of the game studios are actually in California. So if you was in Atlanta and you was in a game studio and you had to crunch, like, bro, you balling.
I think they made Brawlhalla in Atlanta.
Word?
Yeah.
I need to...
It's got that little Georgia peach at the end of the credits.
I need to find out where they at, man. We gotta get Mike and Casey some fighters. You play that shit?
The new one?
Brawlhalla, you ever tried it on the Switch?
I have.
It's not bad.
It was what I was playing before they put some Smash on the Switch. They just added Finn and Jake to Brawlhalla, by the way.
And Princess Bubblegum.
That game.
You know that would imply that they're dead, right? Because Brawlhalla is supposed to be like Valhalla, but they're fighting. I mean, you fight in Valhalla anyway, but
also everyone in that game is dead.
More or less. There's that angel dude. I can't remember his name, but he's supposed to be like an agent from heaven. Then he's just kind of visiting and observing, and then
Finn and Jake died in a fire, probably.
Well, according to the commercial, Finn and Jake and somehow Princess Bubblegum go through BMO. But if you go into a digital, but if you go into a digital space, you're probably dead anyway.
I would argue that shit is stupid. What else happened at E3? Fucking.
God, nothing notable. Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
They. God, what did happen at E3?
Luigi's Mansion 3.
Oh, are you getting that? Because I actually want to play that. That's a total.
I love Luigi. I bought Luigi's Mansion 1 twice.
That's a total cuddle it with your girl. You know, exactly. I mean, shit. I'll play with Luigi.
Get some spooky booty.
How do you feel about them? That little multiplayer aspect of it.
I love everything about that game. I see nothing wrong with it. 10 out of 10.
Oh.
Buying the day one.
I slick agree with you already.
Even the guy who was announcing it, hello, this is Luigi's Mansion 3.
Isn't it a hotel now?
Yeah, it's
like
a
resort
now.
Or some shit. Luigi's Hotel.
I love how it's not scary at all, but I could tell 5-year-old me would be terrified of this game. You know, it
has some weird vibes when the first shit came out on the GameCube.
Right, it gave you some weird vibes. It was like,
yeah, no doubt.
Especially when you play it at night, you know, as a 8-year-old or a 9-year-old.
Yo, we got to get Resident Evil 4.
Oh yeah, they did drop that on the Switch. No, we got to get Resident Evil 5.
That's what I meant. 5.
That's the co-op when you kill a bunch of Africans. That's what. That's literally all you do the whole game is shoot black people. It's very jarring. You usually shoot.
No doubt. But it's hilarious.
You usually shoot white people in video games, and everyone seems cool with that. But the second it's all black people, it's like, whoa.
You gotta kill the third world undesirables.
Yeah. They're infected.
Gotta colonize these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But nah, I mean that's like the most ridiculous Resident Evil out there, man. Like we gotta play.
No,
it,
that's
just laugh.
6. 6 the most. That's the one where he punches the boulder.
No, I mean you still punch and kick niggas in 5, but we are just also able to punch and kick each other.
And Africans.
So like we gotta get it.
I'm down.
Oh, this reminds me of things that we gotta get that that'll
Battletoads
make
look trash. Battletoads look like a Flash game.
I don't want to talk about it, especially after that E3 reveal last year brought Battletoads so much fucking hype. And then they bring this shit out and it looks like a fucking third-rate Nick at Night animation.
It looks like they made the game right after it looks like they started making the game right after they announced it, like last year. And they was like, "Oh shit."
I don't know who that art director was for Battletoads, but he needs to be.
Oh, that was a joke.
I don't mean it.
That was a joke. Yeah, that was a joke.
I've been what's that name? What's that man? Bill Burr. I've been watching a lot of him lately. He said that for the guy that what was he talking about? I don't remember. He was on a late show with Stephen Colbert. Whatever.
Who is Bill Burr again?
Bill Burr is a legend, but he's the guy. Have you seen F is for Family on Netflix?
No. I like Bill Maher.
They're two different people.
I know. I like.
Oh, actually, are they really? I don't know.
Is he that white guy with the slick back hair?
Bill Maher is the white guy with the slick back hair. Right. Bill Burr is the white guy with no hair at all. And he's from like Boston or some shit. He's from somewhere in New England. And I don't know. I enjoy his comedy, but that's just me. And also, F is for Family is funny as shit, and you need to watch it.
I've seen all the episodes of F is for Family.
Oh, well, he's the main character.
He plays the dad?
He plays the dad.
Oh, shit.
So you see when I say that's some shit that Bill Burr will say.
I don't fuck with BoJack Horseman.
What? That's actually a God. I don't want to sound like a fanboy here, but that's actually like a very well written show. Like it's pretty fucking deep.
I said it. Hot take.
You want to watch it again?
Yeah, I'll watch it again on LSD.
Yo, you know what we need to do? What? I want to actually get into like some Mystery Science Theater 3000 shit. Like, you know, doing movie riffs.
Striking Vipers?
That game used to come out.
What time are we at? How long is this?
Yeah, we're only at 48 minutes. Almost.
Oh, yeah.
48 minutes.
That's to make it our longest podcast ever.
Bro, that Avengers podcast was an hour and a half long.
That was a beautiful.
That was long as shit.
Y'all go check out the Avengers podcast. Okay, back to E3. We're losing focus. Then
but that's the thing. There's nothing about E3 to really talk about. We literally touched on everything E3 related in the first half of this shit.
We've been talking about Nintendo's press conference this past 30 minutes.
Because Nintendo is everything that matters this year. They killed this shit.
Do you think that Breath of the Wild 2 will be enough to give Nintendo a fighting chance against the PS5 and the Xbox 2?
No. But I think Pokemon will.
I see. That's my no. I think people are kind of tired of Pokemon, and I think Game Freak. No, I think people are tired of the same old ass Pokemon formula. Like, I think people. So
you want live action? Not live action, but like more actionless turn-based Pokemon.
No, I don't.
You want Final Fantasy 7 Sword and Shield?
No, because I don't know. Because I thought I did right. Right. Then I played Pokemon Tekken or Pokken Tournament, and I wasn't a fan of it. And it made me realize that live fighting Pokemon is not necessarily the problem with Pokemon. The problem with Pokemon is just this old reliance on the same old formula of walking around, having encounters. Like, at some point, bro, Pokemon has to take that next step. You know, Pokemon reminds me of iPhone, where they make very small incremental changes. Like, there's a big difference between Pokemon Yellow and Pokemon Moon, but there's not a big difference between the Pokemon Yellow and Pokemon Red. You feel me?
That's basically the same game.
Well, yeah.
What do you mean, like Pokemon Red and then like Pokemon Emerald?
I'm just saying, like, yeah, Emerald.
Like, they make small incremental changes.
Yeah, small incremental changes. Like,
so, like from Sun and Moon to Sword and Shield.
Right.
Like
the fact that every creature in the 3D, game.
Well, the Pokemon actually walk around now and they have raids.
They walk around in certain areas. You know, they don't walk around everywhere.
During certain times of the day.
Right. At this point, and then the areas
depending on the weather.
And the areas looked pretty barren still. Like I saw these areas need to be filled with Pokemon. Like, what's the fucking excuse at this point? I feel like that game was supposed to be on the 3DS and they just kind of up-resed it. They was like, fuck it.
Nah, because, you know, they're talking about the 3DS as if, like, oh, we're still going to continue supporting it, but they're not.
Nah.
They're not. I think they know for a long-ass time that they were going to phase that shit out and have all their mobile shit on the Switch.
See, I knew they was going to phase it out, too, but I just feel like, you know, Pokemon... They don't push themselves. You feel me? They don't push for anything graphically really too impressive. Like, imagine if...
Well, I mean, it's Pokemon. You ain't really got to try that hard graphically. It's just like the mechanics have to be different.
I mean,
and which they are. You know about the Dynamax system now?
Yeah, giant Pokemon, you know, for people who are into that. You know,
Kaiju Pokemon.
Yeah, Kaiju Pokemon.
I'm down for it. I mean,
that shit is just another gimmick. I feel like
Pokemon, it is a gimmick. It's even with the Z system, Z moves or whatever from the last game.
Exactly. They need to take their Pokemon and stop making them giants. Just stop it.
So they should have done something else other than make them giant.
I don't know. I mean, every Pokemon game has a gimmick. I like the Alolan gimmick.
I did too.
All the
there were shinies and then there was Aloans.
Right, just all types of alternate Pokemons, and some of the Pokemon's bodies would change because of the region. That's dope. That's a really dope idea. But fucking giant Pokemon. It just seems like they was all
Dynamax.
They was all at a meeting one day.
That sounds like a fucking battery from the 90s.
For real. They was all at a meeting one day. And somebody was like, all right, we need a new gimmick to get the customers in. And someone said, let's have giant Pokemon. And everyone probably looked at that nigga and laughed. And here we are. Giant Pokemon.
They laughed at him and then they looked at their bag of tricks. It was like, well, none of these are... We used all the good ones. We might as well go with giant Pokemon. It's not that inventive if you think about it. But hopefully it's something. And, you know, they at least limit the amount of giantness in it. You know, like, you can only be giant for 3 turns.
It seems like...
Except for in the raids, where the Pokemon in the raids are giant indefinitely. And you have to catch them that way.
I like the animations they use.
You know, I mean, I just like... I played Pokemon XD for the GameCube.
Right.
And I've just been wanting the mainline series of Pokemon to kind of catch up with that for the longest, because I'm going to sound like the guy that shouldn't be talking about Pokemon right now, but that's like the latest in the line of Pokemon that I've played beyond Fire Red, and XD is a spinoff.
I don't play Pokemon because
this is a wrong podcast to be talking about Pokemon.
I'm a passive Pokemon nigga. I ain't gonna cap. I like Pokemon, the anime, and the lore and the things behind it. I know about the Snorlax that blocks your path. I know about the Mew that's underneath the truck.
At least pick up the new Pokemon for the new waifu.
Man, listen.
The water trainer gym woman with the floaties on her ankles.
Oh, the floaties. Listen, I understand that Pokemon has always had the waifus, but that's not why we're here. I just can't get down with the taking.
We don't
turns.
do waifus on SAUCY.
I'll play Bayonetta if I want my waifus. I just want Pokemon to shake it up, man. Take a risk. Like Pokken Tournament was a good ass risk.
They need to do more double battles.
I don't know. They need to do something. They need to find a way to have 4 people.
Yo, have you ever played Final Fantasy Dissidia, or do you know about it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so Dissidia is they took all the turn base out of it, right? And they kind of switched up the battle system a little bit. I don't want to get into it because we got like 5 minutes left, but
right.
That's way more actiony for Final Fantasy.
Right. I mean, Final Fantasy seems like they've done away with the turn base altogether.
But Pokemon needs to do. Well, they kind of have elements of turn base in the 7 remake. They didn't in 15, but that's beside the point.
I would love Pokemon to have a turn base. I mean, have a system of fighting just like, you know.
Yeah, nigga, like, I mean, it's not they can't do it. They got 3 Pokemon. They have 5 Pokemon in Smash. 6.
Exactly.
Venus, Squirtle, Charizard.
And they all kick ass.
Mewtwo. Pikachu. Pichu.
Incineroar.
Lucario. 3, 6, 7, 8 Pokemon.
That's almost a quarter of the roster.
Pokemon. So I mean, it's not like they don't have the wherewithal to turn their moves into an action sort. Well, I don't know, because Pokemon can learn moves. That's a lot of animation to be doing.
I think the fact that I heard an article said that there's so many Pokemon at this point that they can't even transfer all of them over for the new game.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think that's bullshit.
That's gonna fucking suck.
Delay the game. Delay the fucking game. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, Game Freak has been getting by on bullshit. I hope that they review bomb this fucking.
I don't know. It's not gonna be review bombed.
They should, just because, bruh. At some point,
I don't know.
Game Freak has been putting out the same game for 5 years. Everyone got mad at Super Mario Bros. For doing it, so they stopped making Super Mario Bros. For a minute. So we should do the same thing for. If you want Pokemon to get better and bigger and more ambitious,
you want to switch up the core gameplay and not just stop adding gimmicks, is what you're saying.
I would love a Pokemon game where you're walking around through a giant world that's seamless, that has thousands of Pokemon just living their lives, and the battles are real time. I would be willing to give that up for the other, though.
I think from what I've seen and heard from Sword and Shield, the first half of what you said is happening. So you could actually see the Pokemon living their lives, working in shops and shit. And I mean, it's not like that wasn't happening in as far back as like the first game with other Pokemon living in the towns with other trainers.
Right.
But I'm with you, man. I'm kind of ready for some live action. Not live. I keep saying that. For some straight up actiony fucking Pokemon, man.
That's what I want.
Yeah. Don't they have like fan-made Unity projects where they got Pokemon running around fighting in real time?
Yeah,
I've seen those.
I think the next.
That formula has potential.
How much time we got?
We have a little less than 1 minute.
Oh Jesus! Well,
a little bit more than 1 minute actually, but we'll have less than 1 minute in like 5 seconds.
In closing,
E3 was shit.
Except for
Nintendo, but the rest of E3 was dog shit. And
Keanu,
I guess
Johnny Silverarm. Did you guys know? We're gonna close out with this because this is fucking important. Did you guys know that Cyberpunk 2077 was written by a black man. That's your Black History Month fact.
Black History Month. Yes, we knew. I think that the audience that SAUCY is catering to would know that Mike Pondsmith is a black dude. I want him to sing all the Negro spirituals with his wonderful voice.
That's racist.
Is it? Just hearing him way in the water.
I think we should just end it here. Bye.